This year's team, these guys come in here with no agenda, and they come in here playing 110%. They give their all, and so that's all. As a coach, I think Dutch sees that, and that's all he could ask for is these guys to play hard, especially knowing that everything that's going on in the world today. These guys, especially for me, basketball is their home away from home, their getaway, and so just coming in here, playing hard and being tough and playing gritty. I think that's all we could ask for, and that's all I can ask for as a leader of this team.
Matt, this is really your team. This is Jordan's team. How do you see your role expanding this season, and how do you want it to expand?
I see my role expanding in the roles of Trey Cale in my freshman year, and seeing Trey Cale flourish in the system, seeing Malachi Flynn flourish in the system, and taking the reins. So I see my role expanding in that way. When it really comes down to it, in crunch time, and the ball is my hand, making the right play, whether it be being aggressive and getting to the rim, or taking the right shot, or making the right play for a teammate.
Do you see more of a leadership role for you, and is that what you would want?
And definitely, that's what I want. That's what I'm embracing. I embrace that day in and day out, being a leader, being that vocal aspect, because I've always been that guy that I was always that kid growing up that was under the radar, that quiet kid, and so now growing up and really just trying to flourish in the system and flourish in my role and embrace being more vocal, leading by example, and just putting this team on my back and saying, let's go.
It was so fun to watch you last year, and it was clear that last year was a big year for you, and you really came in so ready. You know, you had leaned out, you had done a lot of off-season training. How big was last season for you, for your confidence and for coming into this year, and how do you expand on that?
Last season was huge for me. Just going through everything that I had to go through, the whole weight loss situation, and right before the season having my meniscus tear and having the surgery and coming back and having little minor setbacks and I lost my starting position and Nate sadly going down and what was a big part of our team. I just got to take an accountability that I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm going at this 110%, leaving everything I have on the floor, and I'm leaving it out there for me, for my family, for my teammates. It is really a big year for me to leave it all out there and get it done.
How do you see your growth over the last 4 years since coming into the program? What area do you feel that the most?
I see myself as to be a more confident player, and I always saw myself as confident on the court and when the lights came on, but I see myself as confident day in and day out. I just got to wake up with confidence knowing that I'm that guy. I'm that dude. I just gotta breathe that confidence, manifest it.
You dabbled in the NBA in the offseason, and then the NCAA said that you could come back next year if you want another year of eligibility. What are your thoughts around that, and is that something you would consider or you have considered?
You know what? It's not something I've considered. It's not something I've thought about. I do think it's something that would be very fitting for a player that would need it, but I don't see myself as a player that would need to come back. I think this program would flourish well enough without me. I think that 4 years is enough, and these fans have meant a great deal to me over the past 3 years. And just going into this last year, I hate that the fans can't come out and see it and support me for my last year. But I think 4 years is enough for me. This community, this city has meant a great deal, has given me so much. They've just given me all the love in the world, and I haven't taken any of it for granted.
Jordan, what have you seen from him as far as his growth, and how do you view him as a teammate, as a friend, as a person throughout these years?
Jordan's confidence, his ability to let that ball go at a moment's notice is amazing to me. I've had to take a few pages out of his book in that let it go when it's there aspect of it, because I have found myself as a leader in this team and trying to be more of a facilitator, being more passive in certain moments. But the coaching staff has just instilled in me to stay aggressive, and Jordan has always been by my side, and he'll continue to stay there.
And finally, Matt, I'm curious, was there any silver lining for you during this pandemic? And then also watching everything going on in the world, is there anything that you guys as a team want to address this season?
Definitely. For me, it's all these changes that the world is having to go through, all these social injustices that the world is going through, for me is not only playing for my family, the name that's on my back, the name that's on the front of my jersey, but it's also playing for all the social injustices that have gone on in the world, everything that has gone wrong for not only the Black community, but for all races, for the natives of the world, and everything that they fight for the LGBTQ community, and something that I've really tried to embrace over these past 6 months, and really tried to educate myself on, and so it's also playing for them, and knowing that I've had this opportunity to play basketball again, and these people are fighting for their rights, fighting for their life, just as I am living every day. And so I'm playing for them. I see basketball as a moment to let go of everything else going on in the world. Me being a face in this community, in the San Diego community, I see it as an opportunity to get my voice out there, when time permits, when I have the opportunity to, and really stand up for these people and have their back just as they have had mine.